Alexander, and I am thrilled to be the Religious Education Assistant right here at the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City. I am so happy to welcome you back to a new year of Reimagining Chapel and to the UU of the Week. This week, we are going to learn about Sarah Josephine Baker. She was an epidemiologist before it was cool, and even before it was called that. We have learned from all of our recent experiences that epidemiologists study disease and work to keep entire cities and communities healthy. Sarah Josephine Baker was an accomplished physician who started many public health programs that benefited countless women and children, and she was also a Unitarian. Josephine Baker was born in 1873 in Poughkeepsie, New York. At the age of 16, she was in the midst of preparing to go to college at Vassar when her father and her brother both died of typhoid. She was inspired to instead study medicine, both to help support her family but also to spare other families from loss. She went to the only medical school that accepted women at the time, the Women's Medical College of the New York Infirmary for Women and Children, founded by our own past UUs of the week, Drs. Elizabeth and Emily Blackwell. Dr. Baker started working in Hell's Kitchen. It was known as the worst slum in New York at the time, with several thousand people dying each week. Her task was to save the babies and to help the women who were trying to care for them. To do this, she focused on preventative medicine. Dr. Baker said in her book, Fighting for Life, quote, "The way to keep people from dying from disease, it struck me suddenly, was to keep them from falling ill. Healthy people don't die." It sounds like a completely witless remark, but at the time, it was a startling idea. She went on to say that preventative medicine had hardly been born yet and had no promotion in public health work. Dr. Baker trained and deployed a small army of nurses into the schools and out into the streets to help poor families. They provided clean milk and trained mothers to care for their babies. They were able to drastically lower the infant mortality rate by reducing a disease called dysentery and malnourishment, which means to not have enough food. She did this by teaching the women how to keep their babies clean and healthy. And Dr. Baker even invented infant formula by adding calcium and lactose to cow's milk to help keep those babies fed. Now, being one of the few female physicians at the time, Dr. Josephine Baker faced a lot of criticism, but she overcame it with her extensive knowledge and experience. She was asked to lecture on children's health at New York University Medical School. She said she would only do it if she was allowed to also study there. They said no, because, there still weren't very many women studying medicine in universities. But they could not find anyone else who was as knowledgeable about children's health as she was, so they finally agreed. And in 1917, Josephine Baker became the first woman to earn a doctorate in public health. Dr. Baker became well known for her accomplishments and was offered jobs in public health in London, France, and eventually she became the Assistant Surgeon General of the United States. She lived with her partner, Ida Alexa Ross Wiley, for most of her life, and she continued to improve public health through several prestigious appointments like to the League of Nations and the New York Department of Health until her death in 1945. I'm so happy to add Sarah Josephine Baker to our collection, and I thank you for joining me today to learn about our newest UU of the Week. To learn about more fascinating Unitarian Universalists, go to uuoftheweek.org and be sure to join us next time.